Hey guys, ATI here. I wanted to do a quick video today on a actual long line bunker because I had a video in my archive on that. So we have a bunker here. This is one of the biggest ones that I personally know of. This would serve 4 different lines or paths on the microwave side, and this was a Autovan carrying bunker. So I wanted to do a quick video on what it looked like on the outside and what it looked like on the inside. Not a whole lot to see. Most of it's unfortunately been scrapped, but it is still a piece of history that I want to present. So we're just driving up here right now in the driveway, and right here is the door that's been welded shut. And then this is the tower with all the feed horns on it still there. We got some towers in the area as well. This is a pretty active site for Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, and some other mom and pop providers. What you're seeing right here is the front of the building. That is the actual air scrubber, and it is a intake for the generator dirty room, which we will see a picture of later. And then basically this is all rated to take a nuclear blast in about 10 miles or so. Within 10 miles. Not direct hit, of course, but it's rated for 10 miles. There's a raven up there just flying away. This right here is the air scrubber room, and then there's 3 levels. The top, there's first floor, second floor, and basement. So air scrubbers on the top. There's the tower again, and then there's a basement below. And that door covered with all the bushes is actually the fuel room with the fuel pump, so that the diesel could get pumped out of the trucks and into the tanks, or vice versa, to fill up trucks with diesel. It was a 10,000 gallon diesel tank right under where I'm standing, which is pretty significant, and it was a very, very difficult aspect to remove from the underground. This right here, this door, which is kind of like concreted in front of, is a front, it's a blast barrier to keep the blast from affecting the main front door, because it protects the clean room behind it, which we will see later. And this is the existing transformer here that has been um, welded shut. The landowner tried to do their best to keep the squatters out, or the copper thieves out. Not that I think people would squat in here, but they're trying to keep copper thieves out, so they're welding everything shut, which I respect because there's no need to keep it exposed. That's the existing meter can where the meter would go. That's the transformer, and as you can see, there's the bolts on it welded up. So I don't know if the tower owner knows about this stuff being welded up, but it is, so that's their thing. Okay, moving to the side of the building, we have some basement exposure. That bottom line there is actually the basement level, and then we see it surrounded by the bigger walls. That center divider, kind of where that light is not an indicator of a second story. That's all one main equipment room. But like I said, that smooth concrete on the bottom is actually where we're starting to see the basement exposure. Okay, so we are currently seeing the rear end of the building. This is coming through that back door we just left off of. And we actually see at the end of the other wall here is the fallout control panel. We'll get into that later. There's a lot of things to talk about with that. Okay, and this is looking to the left side. You can also see there's just a bunch of racks. This is where all of the analog filament equipment would have been. So the tube systems. And it's a real shame it's all gone, because it would have been beautiful to see in person here, especially with the lights on, but maybe someday. Anyway, unfortunately, like I said, this is a copper scrap thief vandal place, so there's been several in and out here. That's the reason they welded the door shut, all the doors. And that, yeah, it just sucks. But this empty racks here. This next picture is when you walk in from where you're originally. This is the right side, and just a bunch of empty space. There's actually a little training room to the far right here, and we might see that later. But I don't know if there was ever a rack aisle here. There's some fluorescent tube lights above it, like they may have been planning to do something, but who knows. Okay, so this is probably the coolest part about the building that's left over, fortunately. This is the main blast control panel, and we have a lot of items going on here in this picture. It's kind of hard to see, so if you guys want to stop the video, go ahead and stop it. But we have a lot of blast dampener alarm indicators. We have fan system control indicators. We have equipment room temp high, equipment room temp low, oil tank low, oil tank high, water storage high, low, refrigerant high, low. A lot of blast doors, blast dampeners, controller indicators in here as well. So this is definitely a hardened bunker designed to take a hit, and this is proof of that. Um, so, like I said, everything here is just a indicator of how the thing works. We have the main alarm annunciator at the top, which is labeled failure alarm. Light test just turns all the lights on so people could check the bulbs. And then horn silencer is a way to turn off the alarm, to acknowledge it, and to understand that, hey, you do have an alarm. I don't need to be buzzing all the time. So, okay, and this is, in my opinion, this is the coolest part of this control panel. Tells you a lot about how important this building was and how much they wanted to protect it. So, it looks like a normal panel in front of us, but actually there's a lot of indicators here that tell you something pretty neat. The bottom left gauge, it says magnetic on it, if I'm saying that right. That's a long word. It says building pressure. And that's important because when you are building a fallout complex, you want to achieve positive pressure inside the building, so that if there is a leak, you are not getting irradiated, contaminated air coming into the building and affecting equipment or personnel. So this building was designed to be, looks like, pressurized up to 2 inches of water. I'm not sure what that measurement corresponds to as far as PSI. That might be PSI. I don't know. Um, there might be an actual reading on there that somebody knows more about than I do. If somebody knows more about that item, leave it in the comments. I'd love to know more about it. And then to the right, we have another gauge that is, it says something along lower hour pressure or something pressure. So I'm not sure what that is. They didn't put a good job of the label there. And we got a basic canopy switch on the right of that. Bunch of fan on and off systems, and then we have outside air temperature, old school horizontal gauge, and a bunch of zone selectors for air conditioning and temperature gauges and so on and so forth. We have bottom, uh, upper floor, basement, first floor and basement level zone controllers. So this is just all the equipment to control air conditioning and HVAC throughout the property and achieve blast-proof systems in the event they did take a blast. So, okay, looking to our right now of that blast panel, this wall on the left with the exit sign is towards the front wall that we saw outside earlier. And we have some standard doors here. We have the women's locker room, the men's locker room, and then we have the door downstairs, door upstairs, and then we have a receiving door, 2 receiving doors here. The locker room doors were locked. I don't know what was behind them or what was going on, but they were not accessible, so couldn't go in there. But this is just the right side of where we are standing. This is just a quick picture looking at the stairwell down and the stairwell up to the HVAC room. Okay, this is the basement. This is the battery room and main switchgear room. The main electrical switchgear is towards the back, and it's relatively standard what we would see today. It's just older models from the 1950s era. Um, a lot of water uh, canisters all over the ground for distilled water that would have been used for battery rehydration and maintaining battery banks. And funny enough, this actually would have been housing the same kind of batteries you saw at the original newer longline site. Over at the last video I did of powering up a longline site. But this is the creepy basements in a longline bunker. Okay, in this one I'm definitely going to be calling out to the YouTube community to give me a little bit of an insight on what this is. This is a alarm indicator of something, and I don't know what these indicators mean. So we have the far left is BLG, ENG, PWR, CI, LMX, FMAS, TD3, TDRM, number 1, B. I'm assuming B is basement. And then underneath we have that in the bottom left is OTH, DRS, BKDR, RECDR, FNTDR, and then the far right in the red is FRERAD, 200, FM, 400100, SW. And all of these pictures are available on my Discord channel on the Longline text chat. So if you guys want to pull your own pictures, zoom in on all this stuff, they are open to download on the Discord channel under Longlines. Okay, and this is a pretty cool intact item for the most part, minus the generator's been completely scrapped. But this is a Detroit Diesel V12 generator. It's a really old one, but this is kind of common along longline sites across the United States that I've seen. We have big blower motors at the top. We have a primary exhaust there in the middle, some wiring and conduit going to it for the main power source. And we got hoses around here. I'm not sure if that's fire suppression or oil or something. But this is considered, as far as I could detect, this is the dirty room of the bunker. And I think when this building took a hit, this generator may have been flooded in this dirty, contaminated air from the air intake to keep the generator cool. Possibly. I could be completely wrong. But there was no indication of the air intake being filtered out. So there's nothing in there that would show that this is a clean room during a nuclear hit. Okay, guys, I thought I'd conclude on this pretty neat picture of the front. As I said before, all of these pictures are available for inspection, free download in the Discord server. Just go to join the Discord server and navigate over to Longline's text channel, and you will see all of the pictures listed at the top, and you can download all of them, one of them. It's up to y'all. I did want to say thanks for everybody being super supportive of the Longline system. I really appreciate the video popularity. I'm glad that there's a lot of enthusiasts that enjoy this kind of thing. I don't really have a whole lot more of Longline items to list as of right now, so this is probably going to be the end of the Longline series for a little while until I come across something cool. Um, but I would really encourage everybody to jump in the Discord server, and if they have any questions or they have any comments to post about Longlines, you can do it in the Discord server, or you can do it in the YouTube comments. Either or is appreciated. So if you guys like this kind of stuff, little nitty-gritty, weird parts of the United States or the telecom world that nobody ever gets to see, this is definitely the channel for you. I try to post all that stuff, and this is just kind of what we're in it for. This is what we do. All the weird stuff that you normally don't see is this channel. So I hope you all enjoyed it, and we will talk to you later.